Where do we go after death? Religions across the world offer answers, but hidden within the stream of Western esotericism is a consistent vision, the astral plane. Perhaps you've heard of it. However, contrary to common belief, it's not simply myth or imagination, but a concept with a long lineage, beginning nearly 2,000 years ago in the ancient city of Alexandria, and reaching its most vivid expression and clear definition in the writings of C.W. Leadbeater. Let's explore what the astral plane is and what it's like there. But first, let's find out where this concept comes from. Imagine, if you will, we're in Alexandria, Egypt, 2nd century CE. A dazzling city with an even more dazzling library, the famed Library of Alexandria. A place where Greek philosophy, Egyptian mysticism, and Jewish thought converged. From this atmosphere, anonymous sages created the Corpus Hermeticum, attributing it to the legendary figure Hermes Trismegistus. In these texts, they explore the planes of reality between body and spirit, the roots of what we might now call the astral plane, and of the soul, the astral body. However, as we all know, the library was unfortunately burned down, and with it went all the precious knowledge of the ancient world, including, we might assume, the secrets of the astral plane. But no, as it turns out, somehow Corpus Hermeticum survived the flames. Let us travel now, my friends, to Renaissance Italy. It was here that the text was rediscovered in 1463, translated by Marsilio Ficino. This ancient occult knowledge, in fact, inspired Renaissance magi and philosophers of the day like Pico della Mirandola and Agrippa. This new Renaissance Hermeticism became the backbone of what we now call Western mysticism. Fast forward to London in 1895. A clairvoyant and bishop in the liberal Catholic Church named C.W. Leadbeater published a book called The Astral Plane, Its Scenery, Inhabitants, and Phenomena. This title drew on the ancient knowledge of the astral plane, which emerged from the mysterious depths of the Library of Alexandria. Not only that, however, Leadbeater claimed direct clairvoyant experience of this plane, describing it in extraordinary detail. From Alexandria to Leadbeater, this is an unbroken historical tradition of esoteric teachings. That is, teachings that there does exist in fact a world between matter and spirit, called the astral plane, into which we pass after death. So, what does this plane look like, according to Leadbeater? Well, let's go there now, shall we? Let us imagine we have learned somehow to detach our astral bodies from our crude material ones, or alternatively, that we had an unfortunate, unforeseen encounter with the dysentery. Close your eyes, my friends, and imagine then that your old familiar material body, which you know so well, is fading away. You feel lighter, freer, as if a cord no longer binds you. Pain is gone, weight, discomfort. Nothing dulls the senses anymore. You are hyper-conscious here, awake, yet you are not on Earth. You've arrived, my friends, in the astral plane, and you now have only your astral body or your soul. You open your eyes, and the world looks familiar, yet transformed. The air glows with light that seems to emanate from everything. The trees, the river, the very ground beneath your feet. Colors are more vivid than you've ever seen. Blues, golds, and pinks that shimmer and flow. The landscape shifts subtly with your thoughts and feelings. As you walk, you may notice cities and villages, some serene, others distorted. All the strangest possible buildings and rooms that the mind could conceive of or imagine. But it wasn't the mind of some crazed architect who built these from mortars and bricks. No, the astral plane is different. The buildings here were all molded by the memories and desires of those who shaped them. Either an astral being has used their mind to forge these buildings from their thoughts, or perhaps even humans in the material plane have made them, without realizing, when they occupied this same astral space as they went about their material, physical plane life. In the streets and fields, you may see people moving, but they are not dead. They are living, wandering in their astral bodies during sleep. They are dreaming. Some drift aimlessly, wrapped in thought clouds. Others move with clarity and purpose, aware or unaware of their astral form. You could run into any sleepwalking acquaintance here, and your conversation would just register with them as a dream. After they finish their nocturnal wanderings, that is, and head back to their earthly beds. Ahead, a shimmering group moves slowly. Now these are the souls recently liberated from their bodies. They retain their earthly personality and attachments, even their earthly forms, as the shape of your astral body is the same as your prime material one. But minus whatever acne or moles a person might have, it can only be hoped. Some of these dearly departed might seem lost, reaching back towards memories or loved ones, longing for the physical world again. Others glow with a quiet serenity, acclimatized to the new world. But no matter what, their fate is mysterious and very personal, it would be assumed, to their life stories. In shadowed corners, however, you may glimpse hollow, ghost-like forms. They repeat fragments of life, gestures, phrases, even moments of sorrow. But these are not living beings with souls, these are merely empty shells. These are the so-called impressions in the astral light. Their experiences or emotions that were experienced so strongly in life that they burned an eternal video on repeat, so to speak, into the astral plane. This is considered to be the reason for many of the so-called hauntings people experience in certain places, even here on Earth, where horrible and traumatic acts or tragedies may have occurred. Suddenly, shapes may twist in the distance, dark, towering figures with grotesque features. These are phantoms born of fear and anxiety. They move as if alive, yet they are your own or others' emotions, objectified and brought to life. You notice, as you encounter them, that fear sharpens their edges and seems to make them bolder, whereas courage softens them and makes them slink away. And so, you need to walk fearlessly as you pass these ones, my friend, or else, much like a dog, they will smell your fear and will pursue the hapless astral traveler like a deadly bird of prey. These phantoms are thought to be born out of the astral plane by us. Whenever we may feel fear so powerful, so overwhelming, it may actually create, in the astral plane, an actual autonomous and conscious being, a phantom, which then latches on to us, being fully aware and conscious and alive now, feeding off that same fear which has created it, goading us always and encouraging us into feeling more fear, so it can feed off that and continue to live, thrive, and grow stronger. Nearby, writhing, flickering forms may seem to cling to faintly glowing souls. These are the larvae, artificial elementals also created by us, created by intense desire or vice, craving, hatred, lust, greed, what have you, like the phantoms. They too are semi-autonomous and conscious, feeding on repeated indulgences by us and our unharnessed passions. Growing larger or more persistent, the stronger that desire may be. If you ever felt a passionate hatred you just can't seem to let go of. So, a dark and sinister thought form may just have been birthed as a result of that hate, birthed in the astral plane, a sinister form which you have given life. This fiend of murderous hate then may whisper in your ear, always goading you to continue feeling such hate, nursing your hate so it can feed its ugly appetites. Or if your appetites lean more towards the flesh, and lust is more of your cup of tea, well then, you can be sure that such a larvae of lust has been birthed from it, dogging your steps like some hound dog of desire. A veritable succubus or incubus, your constant companion there in the astral plane, whispering seductively in your ear, in the hopes of a little more of that sweet lust that it so enjoys sucking out of your heart. Such a seductive succubus or incubus may well try to attach themselves to your person as you pass, testing your awareness and your resolve. But turn a stoic eye upon her wicked wiles, my friends, and turn a deaf ear to the coaxing and the temptations of all the larvae. Turn your eyes and ears instead towards yonder radiant grove. In this enchanted astral forest, tiny lights dart between the branches. Sprites, fairies, elementals of air, water, fire, and earth. Some approach with curiosity, some observe silently, and some swirl in the playful dance of color and motion. Their intelligence is subtle, their presence unmistakably real. Unlike in our good old earthly home, none of them are invisible here. Any place where there's a lot of fire lives a salamander, or a fire elemental. Any place where the water is deep lives a mermaid or nymph. And anywhere the air is wide and boundless, the sylphs fly. And deep in the bowels of the earth, the elemental gnomes are there. Crystal clear, all of them, here in the astral plane. Above you, luminous beings float, radiating serenity and wisdom. These are the devas, what Christian tradition might call angels. They move gracefully, guiding, teaching, and observing. You sense they emanate from the purest and most creative force in the universe, what Leadbeater called the great organizing principle of the universe, or Logos. Their light is warm, not blinding, and instills a powerful sense of the peaceful and the comfortingly holy. You feel your astral body responding. Your thoughts ripple outward, shaping the very scenery. Fear darkens the sky here. Serenity illuminates it. You realize that here in the astral plane, thought becomes form and emotion becomes matter. Every step is a reflection of your inner state. You understand that this plane is temporary, always fluxing and moving, a reflection of your inner self and attachments. Fearful or desiring souls linger in dense, shadowy regions here, whereas joyful, serene souls drift towards light and harmony. The astral plane is a classroom of sorts, a mirror, a playground, and a bridge. It teaches that every thought and feeling matters, not only in life, but in the astral plane, where thoughts become architecture. As you look around one last time, the light shimmers, the phantoms fade, the larvae retreat, and the devas shine ever brighter. You realize the astral plane is both your reflection and your guide, a luminous, intricate world shaped by mind and spirit, a passage towards the greater mysteries of the universe. Whatever your view, this is the authentic mythology that was born in the fabled Library of Alexandria, giving us just one version of what life might look like after death. Leadbeater came from an esoteric tradition that didn't mention God or demons, or even the angels per se, choosing to use words like Logos for God, Devas for angels, and maybe classifying the demons as the terrifying and parasitic phantoms, larvae, and other sinister thought forms that are birthed in the astral plane as a result of our own passions and vices. But Alexandria was influenced by spiritual knowledge from ancient Jewish philosophers and even the early Christian Gnostics as well, meaning this view might not be too far or divergent from the thought of some of the more established religions, if you just change the names of a few of these things, that is. In any case, it definitely makes for some fascinating food for thought, just so long as you don't think about it too hard, remembering that every thought can give birth to the strangest things in the astral plane, a thought being some new architecture or just a bit of interesting scenery. If you go a little bit overboard on the obsessing, that is. So next time you visit that horrible dentist's office with a bad reputation, don't be too concerned if you see a ghostly impression there in the astral light. It's just that pesky astral plane again, recording everything you say, do, and feel without your permission, not so much as a terms and conditions button. And next time you can't take your eyes off that dark window pane on that dark and stormy night, and you just can't shake that crazy feeling that something might appear in that high, unreachable third-story window against all odds and possibilities. Best just cover your head with your blanket, my friends, and maybe count a few sheep. Because you never know if you just might have birthed a fear phantom or two, and you wouldn't want to feed it enough to make nightmares come true. Well, that just about wraps up tonight's tale from Lorehound. Join us as we sniff out more of history's most interesting stories.
As the hound dog entered the dimly lit library, he sensed an aura of mystery surrounding the ancient scrolls. The dusty shelves towered above him as he sniffed his way through the labyrinth of books. Suddenly, he picked up a scent and followed it to a secluded corner. With bated breath, he approached the shelf and pawed at the book, revealing the hidden scroll. As he rolled it out, he knew he had discovered a treasure worth protecting at all costs.